We are in Valencia, as you can probably tell, and I will be running the marathon first thing tomorrow morning. It is quite loud around here, but hopefully you can hear me. The plan for this video is to do a Q&A and then also go through broader subjects on the plan for tomorrow, the race day plan, nutrition, how I'm sort of carving up today and approaching that. I went for a light shakeout run this morning, added some strides, which are just some relaxed, fast sprints for like 10-20 seconds, just to get the leg speed going. I also put up a question box on my story, so I'll go through some of these questions first, and then I'll go through the kind of like interesting stuff that you want to know. So let's get into it. First question is, do you know when entries open for Valencia Marathon 2025? In all honesty, I don't. I imagine it's not soon after it finishes. I've so far loved the build up for it. I've seen a lot of athletes around. It's a very stacked event. I'm sure it sells out quickly, so I'm going to try and get back on it the following year. Next question, how do you deal with the stress of the race the night before? Good luck. This is a good question. I don't deal with it very well, if I'm honest. I could barely sleep last night. I imagine tonight will be the same. Obviously, ideally you want to get 8 hours sleep in, but the last couple of nights I'm just going to accept the fact it's probably not going to happen. Tomorrow morning I'll be up at 5 a.m. to head down to the race, so it's going to be a big struggle. So I just kind of focus on what I can control, getting enough food in, getting my calories in, getting my carbs in, trying to stay off my feet today. Yesterday I did a lot of walking around the city, but today I'm going to keep it chill. So yeah, to answer your question, don't deal with it that well. Just try and think that I can only control what I can control. Next question, have you ever tried trail running? No, I haven't. It's something that I do want to get into over the next few years. I sort of want to transition into, obviously I still want to do the marathon stuff, but I want to do some more conditioning work, strength work. I'm planning to do a High Rocks in January, classic, I know. And then maybe some like, ultra trail running stuff, who knows, in the future. Someone else asked, are you going to a shakeout run tomorrow? Where, because I put this post up yesterday, I just did it on my own. There were a lot of shakeout runs over this morning. I saw loads of big groups. The park was packed full of runners. But yeah, I just got it done early this morning, did about 30-40 minutes. Next question, which is actually a really good one, I think, it's about how often do you go to the gym, and is it easy to combine a gym session with running? So this one is always a difficult one because it's time. It's very difficult because people often opt for an extra run instead of a gym session just to build out their mileage, but this is not the correct thing to do. If you can, and if you can't fit in one gym session across the week, just reduce one of your runs and get it in. You need to be hitting at least one gym session a week. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You just want to be doing some resistance training. It's going to stop you from getting injured. It's going to improve your running form. So what I do is I combine it with my hard days. So on Tuesdays, I do my interval session, and then I try and get a gym session that day. And I just got to accept that that's the hardest day of the week. It's not going to get harder than that. Intervals are really tough, and then doing a strength session that same day, even harder. But the reason for this is that so you get an extra recovery day, and then you don't have the DOMS, which is just delayed muscle soreness, for your hard sessions or long runs. So the following day after the interval session will be a light recovery run, and that means the focus can be recovery. As they say, hard days hard, easy days easy. So hopefully that answers your question. But I'm just going to answer a couple more. Someone else said, okay, so a couple personal questions. How much did you weigh at your heaviest? Around 90 kilograms. I'm now like 79, which is crazy. My face has definitely got a lot leaner, but I feel like I'm in good shape. I feel like I'm bringing the best possible shape I could to the marathon tomorrow. I'm feeling fast. I'm still feeling strong. I'm not feeling weak and light. It wasn't forced, the weight loss. It was very slow and gradual. It wasn't anything crazy. So yeah, I was about 90 kg a few years ago. Before the marathon block, I was around 85, and then I cut down about 5.5 kg, something like that. I probably bumped back up to like 81. I imagine I'll be racing like 81, 82-ish because of the carb up, but at my lowest was around 79. And the next personal question is, what's your height? I'm around 6'2", I believe, maybe 6'1.5", not too sure. So yeah, taller runner, which is why probably I got up to 90 kg. The height comes into play. Right, then last question, relevant, that's gonna help you guys, is why do I feel like my performance is regressing? There's two things that you can approach here, and I definitely had patches throughout this year where I was definitely not progressing, if not regressing. And there's two things that you want to look at. First is intensity. Can you increase the intensity across the week, i.e. more hard sessions? Can you run faster than race pace, do some interval work, some tempo work? This is a good way to just increase the number of hard sessions or number of reps that you do within an interval session. And then the second thing is just easy volume. Can you bulk out the total mileage across the week? Have a look at when you were at your fittest and what mileage you were doing, how many hard sessions you do in a week. And ideally you want to go back to that, and if not, surpass it if you want to start progressing. Now to the juicy stuff. So there's three things that I'm going to go over here. First is race day strategy. Second is nutrition in the race. Third is nutrition pre-race, so the carb up and how I'm approaching that. Firstly, with the race day strategy, now this is a controversial one, but I don't actually have an exact time by the minute that I want to get. Mainly because I want a broad range to try and achieve. I want to make sure that I definitely get under 250. I think I'm probably in sub 245 shape, if I'm honest. So I'm going to try and go out at that pace and then just see what happens. But as you know, the race starts in that last 10K. It gets grim. I'm going to have to fight for it. So I just don't want to go out too hard, but at the same time, if I'm feeling good, then, and I feel like it's controlled and I can sustain it, then I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to run scared. I'm going to really attack it. So yeah, race day strategy is more on feel rather than a set pace. I know what the first half should feel like. I know what marathon pace should feel like. So ideally it's going to feel very comfortable that first half, and then if I'm feeling amazing at 30K, I'm going to try and step up and progress, maybe 5 seconds per kilometer quicker, nothing crazy. And then that last, when I hit 40K, last 2K, if I've got anything left, I'm going to send it. So that's the plan. I want to do somewhat of a negative split, hopefully, but I just know how hard it gets, so probably not likely. The next thing that I wanted to go through was fueling, so race day fueling. I've actually switched gels, so now I do the CIS, I'll put it on the screen here. These CIS gels, and they've got 40 grams of carbs in. I'm gonna be taking them every half an hour. So roughly 6 gels total, which is gonna be 240 grams of carbs for the whole event. And that should get me through. I'll also probably have some water, maybe some Gatorade at the stations, but I'm not too sure. In all honesty, my biggest fear is the stuff that I can't control, like stomach pains or like cramping or anything that like is not about fitness. It's just like bad luck on the day. So I really want to make sure that I'm taking on my fuel, digesting my fuel in that first half. So if it means a little bit slower, then that's okay. Just to make sure it's sitting well in my stomach, and then I can start progressing later on. Then the last topic that I wanted to go through was the carb load. So I brought a lot of my own food. I brought bagels, peanut butter, honey, and I was just munching on them last night. I've got a Morton carb mix, which is a good way if you struggle to eat all your calories. So I'll be sipping on a few of them throughout today. And I'm gonna just sort of eyeball. I'm not gonna go crazy. I don't wanna be sluggish on the start line. I'm just gonna eat more carbs than I typically would. I'm gonna reduce my fat and protein intake and just focus on carbs. And then the morning of the race, I will have bagel, peanut butter, and I'll get a load of bananas as well from the Carrefour shopping store, and then go from there. So yeah, quick fire Q&A. I'm gonna quickly edit this. No crazy edits, just super uncut version, and post literally this evening. I'll be full sending it tomorrow morning. If you want to track me, make sure to download the Marathon app, and you just search my name, Freddie George McKinley, or my bib number is 4499. Let's go!